Well, we are heading into October this week. Want to bring you the latest data here in the Austin metro area. I'm titling this video The Waiting Game. Right now, sellers are on the market waiting for a better offer. They might be getting offers. Some of them are very lowball offers with investors coming in, or sometimes even buyers bringing in lowball offers. So they're waiting for kind of a better opportunity to sell their property. Buyers are also waiting. They're either waiting for the job market to get a little better, or the interest rate to get a little better, or some other buyers to join them in the market. They're just kind of waiting for something. So I'm going to share with you the latest data that we got in from August. And what you're going to see is the market's really not that bad. It's not that great. It's just kind of going sideways. So let's take a look at this. This is the entire metro area. I'm going to shrink that down just a little bit. There we go. So if we look at this, 5 years of data right here. So our line is the light green line. That's 2025. We are above the number of sales in August of 2024, and we're just below 2023 and 2021. So if you see, we're kind of in a tighter pattern in terms of the number of sales. If we look at volume, this is price, a little better than last year. If we look at median sales price, so we are right now just a skosh in August above last year. Our median sales price was $440. Last year it was $435. The year before that was $454. So within about $15,000, the last 3 years have all kind of come into this spot right here. So you can look at these 4 bars right here and start to go, the market might be trending sideways, a little up, little down. So not good, not bad. Average sales price, again, gets pulled up a little bit, but we're above the last 3 years on average. And that might be a little more of the high end of the market has been moving. Here's total listings. Obviously, we've been talking about inventory for years. Each year, the inventory of active listings has really climbed, but we're heading into that final quarter of the year. We're going to start to see that taper off like we see in every other year. So we're starting to see less inventory, but yet still a good couple thousand homes more than we had at this time last year. And again, there's your months of inventory. We'll talk about that in a minute. All right, we're going to go into Williamson County, Travis County, and Hayes County. So Williamson County to the north, number of home sales above last year. Sales volume, just a hair above last year. But again, trending down in terms of a 5-year pattern. Median sales price, literally the exact same dollar than last year. So for those that are like, oh, the market's collapsing, the prices are going to the bottom, on an individual house, you're going to see some pain. But as a market, it's kind of hanging in there with last year. And we're not that far off from 2020 and 2023. So they're all within about, again, 15, 20K of each other. Average sales price, same thing, maybe just a little bit lower than last year, but the trends are extremely tight. We're all within, again, a few $1,000s. Total listings way up from last year, but now finally starting to trend down. You have more new construction in Williamson County as well. And again, months of inventory much higher, 2 full months higher than last year at this time. But even with higher inventory, the price is the same. So what's happening is you're seeing the buyers go, it's not that I need necessarily a bigger discount, but I'm going to take more time. And there's just fewer of us buying. All right, Travis County, this is mainly Austin and the suburbs east and west. So we are higher in terms of number of home sales than last year. Sales volume, higher, matching 2023. Median sales price, higher than the last 3 years. Not by a ton, but a little bit higher, 530. Last year was 510, then 525. In 2022, we're at 560. So we're below the big 2022 bar. But for the rest of the years, we're kind of tangling in there. And then average sales price higher. So we're seeing some of the market come back to life, and they're paying the price. And then total listings, again, started to drop in June. Months of inventory is going to have the same bar. Finally, Hayes County, it's going to be a little bit different of a story. So again, 2025, we're at the top. Like we have most sales than we've seen in 5 years, or at least neck and neck with last year. Why? A lot of new construction in Hayes County, and they're pushing those new home sales, and that's helping. So sales is going up. Sales volume also up. Median sales price, however, lower. And so this is where you're seeing more pain and better deals on the new builds, pain from the resale sellers that's keeping that median home price lower. Right now it was 362, last year was 375, year before that 391. You go back to 2022, it was 439. So they've dropped, a good 70K off that median value in Hays County since 2022. So anyways, that's a big story there. Average sales price, again, a little better than last year. So the median is down because you're really seeing a lot of that low end in Hays County moving the market. And then total listings drying up there. Same thing with months of inventory, though, not above last year. We're seeing it kind of neck and neck with last year. So again, they're moving the inventory because the prices are better in Hays County. It's just pulling that price down with discounts. So here is the market right now. In the metro area, we're sitting again, tilting towards that buyer's market, about 5.5 months of inventory. If we look at a few different categories, I'm going to go to Southwest Austin. It's tighter, right? It's almost leaning into a seller's market, not as much inventory, a little bit tighter there. But if I go downtown, it's way over into the buyer's market category. These are all the downtown condos. They're at higher prices, higher supply. So anyways, we're seeing that in the market. This is back to the full market. If we look at supply as a whole, starting to drop. We're heading into the fourth quarter, but we are still above last year, probably a couple thousand units compared to last year. And demand over here on the right, it's hanging in there. It's a little better than last year. But just total number of sales for the year so far is still a bit down. All right, let's talk about mortgage rates. And again, I'll say it every video. Don't watch the Fed, watch the bond market. So after the Fed announcement, the bond market kind of had some expectations that inflation might stay a little higher than normal. And we also had some decent data come out last week. So interest rates are back to about 6.3, 6.4. If you do have great credit or you get a point or some buy downs, you can definitely get a rate in the fives. But it's going to take just a little bit of work to do that. And of course, if you have FHA, VA, you're kind of sitting right around 6.25 on that interest rate. But over the course of the year, rates have slowly been coming down. So the number one thing I want to watch for the rest of this year are the rates going to do what they did the last 3 years, which is go back up to 7% by the time we get to January or February? Or are they actually now long-term trending where even if we just stayed right here, we'll start the spring at a better place than we've started the last 3 or 4 years? So we want to be watching rates, of course. Finally, this article came out. Somebody searched this and turned it into an article. So 10 cities will offer the best housing deals for the rest of 2025, according to ChatGPT. Hey, go do it yourself. See what it tells you. But according to this article, top buyers markets, we got Miami, Austin, Orlando, mostly Florida. Florida is all over the map. Florida's having more pain now. It's kind of like what we faced 3 years ago. They're now having their big drop. But we, as you can see in the data, we're not really, I don't want to say we're not dropping. We're just kind of trending sideways. We're probably going to see the median home price drop because it always does in the fourth quarter because there's just fewer sales. But it doesn't mean that the market is falling. It means the market's doing what the fourth quarter does every year, is fewer sales, fewer buyers, tends to slow down. And then when does it pick up again? It picks up again in late January through June. And so every year you get the cycles of the buyers. But we are in the fall market. If you are a seller right now, the buyers that want to buy a property between now and the end of the year are going to be writing offers right now through mid-November. So we're looking at about 6 weeks here where I would call it the fall market, where you are going to see some buyer activity and we might have some okay sales activity. Once we get to mid-November, it really does slow down. It just gets busy. You got the holidays. You don't want to be in the option period and trying to have Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas or whatever. So, and then of course, people spend more money in December and they tend to get a little tighter waiting for their New Year's resolution. If you are a buyer right now, man, that all works in your favor. I mean, you've got a market that isn't probably going to pick up steam until next year. And so you have a window to negotiate with sellers on the market, to have those conversations and to make offers with rates that are better than buyers have had pretty much this whole year. So Anyways, that is information for both of you. If you want to follow our videos each and every week, make sure to go to our YouTube channel at Ryan Kelly Group. Click that subscribe button. And of course, if you know somebody looking to buy, sell, invest, or refinance here in Austin, we'd love the opportunity to talk with you. And again, we're hitting October this week, heading into the fourth quarter, and we'll talk to you next Monday. Thanks.